Good evening, everyone. With the time being 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, I will call this meeting of the Webster School Committee to order and ask that we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item on our agenda this evening is the discussion and approval of the minutes from our meeting that was held on May 27th, 2025. Any discussion around those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved. Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Morelos?
Yes.
Member Adamatos?
Yes.
Member Lillis?
Yes.
Member Storyfield?
Yes.
Tracy?
Yes, motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Good evening, Mrs. Perangeli.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start tonight by talking about personnel. We have, the first item is retirements. We have no new retirement announcements at this time. I am happy to announce we have a new hire. We hired an assistant principal at Webster Middle School, David Moreno. Mr. Moreno comes to us from Boston Public Schools. He is moving out this way. I'm happy to say that he will be starting on Monday, June 30th, and we are excited to have him on board and a part of the Webster Middle School team. Moving on, we have resignations. We have a resignation of Jennifer Bergen, a special ed teacher at Park Ave Elementary, and David Bove, an ELL teacher at Webster Middle School, and we have no transfers at this time. As you can see down below, those are anticipated openings. We have some movement, and it's going to be that time of year where it starts to happen. So we will stay on top of staffing and make sure you have updated lists at the school committee so you are aware of the movement that is going on within the district. Are there any questions? No? Okay. Under management and operations, we are quickly closing out the school year, and as we're closing out one year, we are definitely opening up a new year. We have our full admin meeting closeout at the end of the year on June 24th. We'll spend a day looking at the closeout and updating some things for the end of year, and then we're going to start to take a look at the new year coming up. And see what adjustments we need to make as we enter into prepping for our new year. Moving on to financials, as you know, our budget was approved at town meeting. We have now worked to enter our budget into our financial system. That was updated, so we can now start to enter purchase orders against next year. As you know, times are tight, and this is going to be a year where we're going to have to really closely monitor our budgets and know what we have. We're going to have to be very selective with our staff hirings, making sure we're staying within our budgeted salary amounts that we have in there. So we've had a lot of flexibility over the past with different grants and funding, but unfortunately those times have come to an end. So we really just need to be, all of us, we've had this discussion with the principals, that budgeting is going to have to be one of our top priorities, and it's something that we're going to have to stay very on top of as we move into next fiscal year, making sure we're monitoring closely. It's also the time of year we're looking at our grants, closing out any 24 grants that we might have had. As you know, our special ed grants and our Title I grants, they run for a 27-month cycle. So making sure that we're really finishing up our 24 grants, managing our 25s, and we're beginning to look at our 26 grants. I know we've applied already for a couple of 26 grants. Over the summer, we usually submit our Title I and our special ed. So we are monitoring everything closely, making sure we have solid structures in place, that we're always keeping an eye on where we're at. Now more than ever, it's important to be in touch and stay tuned to where our grants are going. Are there any questions about grants or budget? No? Maintenance, it's also the time of year. We had a couple projects that were approved at town meeting. One of them is to do the tennis courts, and another one is to do the basketball courts. Those are typically summer projects that will be happening. It's also a time where our custodians start moving through our buildings, cleaning everything, emptying out rooms. So it's usually when everybody's winding down, the guys are winding up, getting ready to make sure we've got our buildings clean, we've got our projects done, and everything's in shape, and we're ready to start the new year. So we're working on that. And then in negotiations, I'm happy to say that we've worked through 3 of our 5 contracts. We're going to be reviewing them later this evening, but we're on a positive path, so I'm happy to report on that. Are there any questions for management and operations? No? All right, moving on to other updates. I attended the Southern Worcester County Educational Collaborative graduation on Wednesday, June 4th, with our Director of Special Education at the Sturbers House. We had 2 students graduate. It was a wonderful night. I'd like to congratulate Damian Adams and Julia Castanina Grocia. It was really a nice event. They had, I believe, 9 graduates at the collaborative. They had an opportunity for a staff member to get up and speak about each graduate, which was really nice. And it was great to see the kids in action and so proud. And it was nice to visit with them and speak to the families after. So I just want to give them a shout out and a congratulations. On Thursday, June 5th, we got to celebrate our graduating seniors here at Indian Ranch. It was a hot but beautiful evening. I think the night went off pretty well, went off great. We'll have every graduation that we hold at Indian Ranch, I take that as a moment to learn something new, to see what we can do differently the next year and how we can improve. But I think it's a wonderful place to hold the event. And I wanted to congratulate all of our seniors, and I wanted to thank the high school, Miss Nieves and her team, for all the work that they do, especially shouting out the secretary, Allie, who puts in a lot of time and effort preparing everything and making sure that they have everything in order. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make sure everything goes smoothly. And I also want to thank the custodians for their help in setting up and supporting, and Mr. Peter Carney for the music and the time he puts in there. So I appreciate all the efforts that everybody puts in. And then, as you know, this is the time of year, there is almost something going on every night around the district. There's from concerts to field days, Best Buddy ceremonies, senior awards, graduations, all kinds of things happening. It's wonderful to see all the celebrations and the smiles, to hear the concerts. And it's just a pleasure to see all the activity around the schools as we wind down now in the past few days. And then I did mention Best Buddies. I do have a few pictures that I want to share. This year I had to miss the Grads on Parade, which is the first one I've missed since its inception. But I can say that I missed it for a wonderful event. MAP-Free hosted their Best Buddy celebration at MAP-Free Insurance. It was just a wonderful, heartwarming event to see our students really shine who are participating in the Best Buddy. 4 of our students were celebrated for their accomplishments, and I'm going to show some pictures of our students. Best Buddies, MAP-Free has students who work with them in different departments. So this is the teacher. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on her name, and I know her name. Of course I know her name. I just talked to her. It'll come to me. I'll keep going. But Desmond, this is an award that Desmond, one of our students, received that he couldn't be there. So she accepted the award. Yvonne, thank you, Yvonne Lambert. She accepted the award on behalf of the student Desmond. You can see Josiah Espino. He received an award. Josiah was actually speaking at the beginning of the night. They showed a video of him talking. MAP-Free put something together and about what this internship means for him at Best Buddy. These are students from our life skills rooms that go and do work at Mapfre. He works with the IT, his coach is in IT. And I was literally in tears when he was speaking. He spoke about how important it felt for him to be there and to have a real job, and he felt like he was he was doing something that he loved and he just belonged doing. And this was his happy place going here. When they show up on Wednesdays, they dress up, they're professional, they go into work, they have tasks that they need to do. He worked on, I believe he finished up to 100 computers installing operating systems for staff that they use, Google systems that they use on a regular basis. And he just beamed when he talked about the work that he did there. It was just wonderful to see. This is Kuau. He worked at the, I believe in the custodial unit with with the head custodian. And his job was to go around and help and work and clean up the building and take care of things. So he received an award. And then we had Leonette. Leonette was working in the office areas. She had tasked to, this is her second year working at Best Buddies. Last year she worked working on folding and stuffing envelopes, getting 50 envelopes ready for mailings and taking care of things. This year they set a goal for her to complete 100, to see if she could do 100, and she made her goal. She completed 100. So these are envelopes and mailings that are absolutely going out to people. So this is her award. And then this was her mentor, her coach, that supported her in her work there at Mapfre Insurance. I would like to say Leonette was also voted Intern of the Year. So she not only got the award, but she got the Honorable Intern of the Year award overall. So she did a great job. And then these are our students with their coaches who supported them during their time. It's the IT. And then this was the whole group of students. We had other schools that were represented there. I know Oxford and Sutton were there, all with their partners, their best buddies that they worked with during the year. So it was just a great, exciting morning, and I look forward to being there again next year and celebrating our students. And I just wanted to congratulate them, and I wanted to thank Mapfre for the work that they do. As much as we enjoy seeing our students there, they enjoy having our students just as much and looking them shine. And they've actually had some students who were in the Best Buddy program become employees there after, who have jobs, who are doing well, who are successful there. So I just wanted to congratulate all our students and share that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Perangeli.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the committee? There's clearly a lot going on. And it's I'm continually impressed at your ability to be at just about everything.
I try to be.
So really appreciate the updates. If there's no other comments or questions from Mrs. Perangeli, our next item on the agenda is our principal report. And joining us this evening from Webster Middle School is Ms. Peterson.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to start by updating you on our 7th and 8th grade band and chorus. They attended a competition on May 30th and came home with I want to make sure I get this right for each of them. The chorus earned a gold medal, and the band won a silver medal. So what happens is they go and they perform in front of judges, other music educators, and they're scored on different aspects of their performance. And then the group is given a clinic. So the chorus is given a clinic by a professional, and the band is given a clinic, so they get tips and ways to perform better, some feedback working with one of the adjudicators, and so they got written feedback as well. And then they earned their medals at the event. And then part of them going to the competition is they are out in the western part of the state, so they also get to go to Six Flags after their performance. So wanted to update you on MCAS, even though we don't have scores, obviously, we don't get those until the fall. But I did want to let you know that the middle school has finally completed MCAS after testing from the end of March to the end of May. As you know, the middle school hosting 4 grades, tests all 4 grades in 2 subjects for all 4 grades, and 8th grade tests in all 4 subjects, and grade 5 tests in 3 subjects. So what I can share with you tonight is our percentage completion, which is really amazing this year. Unfortunately, the website that I got this information from, for some reason, didn't show English, which is odd because that's the first test we take. But so they showed math. I'm going to share math, science, and civics with you. So in math, we had grade 5, a 97% participation rate. In grade 6, 99%. In grade 7, 96%. And in grade 8, 99%. In science, our net percentage participation was a little bit lower because unfortunately the test window for math and science is the same. And so the makeup time period is basically shorter because you're trying to make up 2 tests for those who are absent are making up 4 sessions of a test. So unfortunately, grade 5 was only 85% participation, and grade 8, 88% participation. In civics, grade 8 was 99% participation. And even though it's not on the chart on the website, I do know that our English, based on the data that I looked at before I was closed out of everything, we were in the 95 to 99 percentile in English in all 4 grades as well. In grade 5, it was definitely 99%. So that helps, as you know, but those of you at home may not know, that our percentage participation does count toward our overall scores in terms of being a turnaround district. So that is really important that we have such high participation rates. Questions about that? Because I know the data is a little.
Ms. Peterson, just one.
Yes, go ahead.
Is there, I know that the testing windows are determined not by us, right? Is there a way for us to remedy the math and science situation for next year so we can increase our participation with the makeups?
I have to look at a few things. The difficult part is one of the reasons our testing takes so long is because we have so many small groups and one-to-one testing that I cannot test the whole school on the same day. Where other districts can do that, we cannot. I don't have the staff and I don't have the space to make that happen. Luckily, this year we were able to do 7th and 8th grade testing on the same day. Our 8th grade class does not have very many small groups and one-to-one, so I was able to combine those. So as we continue to review IEPs and look at the needs of our students, that could change next year, but that is our main problem with being able to consolidate a little bit better.
I see. Thank you.
The next thing I wanted to talk about tonight, well, I'm not going to talk about it. Our guest is going to talk about it. We have Amira Siddiqui here tonight from our 8th grade class, and she has been our Project 351 representative this year. She will tell you about Project 351, but I do want to point out about how our Project 351s are chosen in Webster. What happens is every year I get an email from Project 351, and then I let the staff know that I'm accepting nominations. And so the entire staff, since all of them know, our 8th graders are allowed to send me names and reasons why they feel the student should be nominated. From there, I take that list and I send to each student an invitation to the student and the parents so that they know that they have been nominated, an invitation to write an essay that exemplifies the major factors of Project 351 and why they're interested and why they think that they should be chosen. From there, I take the essays and we don't look at the names, and I have a team of staff read the essays. So they choose the best candidate based on the essays. So they don't know whose essays they are reading, and then they make the recommendations to me. So congratulations to Amira for being chosen, and she is going to share a slideshow and talk to you about Project 351.
So, so Project 351 is a youth-led service that transforms communities, elevates kindness, and advances opportunity by investing in the compassion and unlimited capabilities of 8th grade unsung heroes and quiet leaders. On launch day, we were able to impact 34,595 lives. And launch day was when we participated in service projects and developed leadership skills. There were many different stations, including wellness kits for veterans, nurturing stations for families struggling to buy food during the California wildfires, and hygiene kits for students in need. For our spring service project, we worked with Cradles to Crayons, which is an organization that works to help end clothing insecurity. I worked with the NJHS to help me complete the service, and we were able to collect 17 bags of clothing, 15 of them going to Cradles to Crayons, and the other 2 were not able to be given, so they went to the Salvation Army. Reunion was just on June 7th, and we continued our community building, reuniting at Gillette Stadium to learn more about service and leadership from people including Lisa Hughes from WBZ News and Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll. The Project 351 alumni broke us up into breakout rooms to help us find our direction and help us figure out who we are and how we can work better with our peers. On reunion day, we were able to impact 20,085 lives. This year, we were able to impact 86,688 lives. And in the 15 years since 2011, we were able to impact 1.4 million lives.
And so Amira has a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. here, and so that is one of the people that is often focused on when Project 351 convenes. And so, as you can see from her slideshow, they have met since January on a monthly basis and more than that, starting with Zoom calls and check-ins, and then their reunions and get-togethers. So it's just a fabulous thing that the state does, representing 351 of our towns and cities with an 8th grade representative from every town and city, and just getting the chance for these young people to meet other people who are like-minded and ready to serve, and these are our future leaders. So something that Amira said at the beginning is these are our quiet leaders. That, you know, Amira is somebody who is at everything. She's part of NJHS. She's part of student council. She's in the band. She's in the chorus. She's always willing to help and jump in whenever anything is needed. And she's definitely not a boastful person, but I, you know, would like to make sure she gets recognition for all that she does. So thank you, Amira, for sharing.
Congratulations. Can I ask a question? So if you had to give advice to somebody else coming in or wanting to participate, what have you gotten out of this and what advice could you give somebody coming in?
No matter your age or like your abilities, you can still make a change.
Good advice.
Through the chair.
Member Adamopoulos?
Mayor, I just want to say thank you for putting together the slideshow. Saw a lot I knew about the project, so it was good to kind of get that basic underground to it. My question is just about the spring service project you did. So is that something you brought to NJHS, or was that already in place? Because it was great to see that there's two different groups that kind of have some, you know, overlap in them. I'm just wondering if you brought that back to National Junior Honor Society or if kind of got that from the project.
Yeah, so it's like an individual kind of project, but if you have multiple ambassadors at your school, you can like do it with them. But since we only had one, so that I could be able to get more bags of clothing, I like worked with the NJHS so that we could like get it out there more.
I just think that was a great step on your part. And maybe going forward, you know, the next ambassador can work not only with the middle school, but maybe the high school too for some of these projects. Because it's clear that, you know, it's really making a difference in a lot of people's lives. So I just want to really thank you for all the time you put into it this year.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? It's always nice to see things happening in Webster where we have someone who represents all the good things in Webster. And it's even more special as a parent to be able to watch you, Amira, do this. So I'm excited to see where you go from here and really proud of you.
Thanks.
Thank you for being such a good role model for Webster. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If there's no other questions or comments for Amira or for Ms. Peterson, we'll move on. Anything else from the committee? No? All right. Thank you, Ms. Peterson. The next item on the agenda under old business is a monthly report on fundraising applications. There are a number of fundraising activities that have been going on. Just as a reminder, it's the role of the school committee to review fundraising activities, but we don't approve them. They're approved at the building level. I think there's a lot, maybe more than we want to go through individually, but many of these have essentially taken place already.
I
From
will say the dodgeball tournament was canceled because they didn't have interest from.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry to hear that. But we've got Active Minds and PBI, the PBIS was the dodgeball tournament. Gridiron Club, Bartlett football, freshman class. Are we going to be, Mrs. Perangeli, do you know if the, is this the Papagenos fundraiser? Will that be happening on the last day of school, do you know?
I believe it will, yes.
Oh, good.
Yep.
That's good to get out there. So on the last day of school, on the 18th, if folks go to Papagenos, their portion of the proceeds will be donated. In fact, 20% of the sales will be donated back to the Bartlett freshman class of 2028. So get out there and have your pizza on the 18th. And the next item on the agenda under old business is the superintendent's evaluation. So as a district leader, Mrs. Perangeli has the unique experience of being evaluated publicly on an annual basis, which not many of us have had that before. So I just want to acknowledge that, you know, it can be uncomfortable maybe or challenging to have this experience. And before I begin, I will say that, at least from my perspective, this has been a very successful year, and I hope that the evaluation does justice to the hard work that you've put in during this year. We're really thankful to be working with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So just as an overview of this evaluation tool, which I don't know anyone that's a big fan of this tool, but this is the tool that we have available to us, and this is what we're working with. So first, I will say that we have the step one is to assess the progress toward specific goal areas, which are the professional practice goals, student learning goals, and district improvement goals. So I'll talk about ratings there, and then throughout the rest of this document, there are a number of other areas. I won't go into every area individually, but as far as step one, with regard to professional practice goals, all of the committee members, we have only 4 committee members, by the way, evaluating Mrs. Perangeli this year. Member Caleros just joined the committee, and Member Blythe is already off the committee. So that's why we're 5 of us sitting here and 4 evaluators. So with that being said, the professional practice goals, all 4 of the committee members completing this evaluation rated Mrs. Perangeli as having met those goals. With regard to student learning goals, we had 1 member rate Mrs. Perangeli as having made significant progress and 3 as having met. And finally, under district improvement goals, we have 1 member rating Mrs. Perangeli as having made significant progress on those goals and 3 as having met those goals. And with regard to student learning and district improvement, it's at least my perspective that those are goals that are constantly being worked at and constantly needing to be worked on, particularly in a turnaround district. So it wouldn't be surprising, even for a superintendent in this district to be rated as having made some progress, but that wasn't the case here. We had 1 for each for significant progress and the other 3 as having met. So kudos to you, Mrs. Perangeli, there. Then the next area is an overview of 4 different areas. So this is sort of summative ratings of these 4 areas: instructional leadership, management and operations, family and community engagement, and professional culture. So the possible ratings on those areas are unsatisfactory, needs improvement, proficient, and exemplary. For the first standard, instructional leadership, all 4 of the evaluators rated Mrs. Perangeli as proficient. Under Standard 2, Management and Operations, 1 member rated Mrs. Perangeli as proficient and 3 rated her as exemplary. Under Family and Community Engagement, all 4 evaluators rated Mrs. Perangeli as proficient, and the same for Professional Culture, 4 ratings of proficient. So now moving on here, we have a summative rating, which could be either unsatisfactory, needs improvement, proficient, or exemplary, and all 4 of the evaluators rated Mrs. Perangeli as proficient. And then there are evaluator comments that are available throughout many of the next areas. So I'll just, pretty much every committee member or evaluator left a comment in most or all areas. I won't read every comment from every area. I'm just going to pick comments from each area so that there's representative feedback. So under the first section, one of the comments is, it is evident through the data and reports presented at school committee and observations made by attending district-wide events that Superintendent Perangeli has met her goals in the areas of instructional leadership, management and operations, and family and community engagement and professional culture. So moving on here, let's see here. Under instructional leadership, so again, these are the standards. All 4 evaluators rated Mrs. Perangeli as having met her goal. Under management and operations, we had 2 ratings of met and 2 of exceeded. Under management and operations, we had 1 rating of met and 3 ratings of exceeded. Under family and community engagement, we had 1 rating of significant progress and 3 ratings of met. And under professional culture, all 4 evaluators rated Mrs. Perangeli as having met that goal. I won't dig into every rating within the standards because there's a lot of them, but I will share additional comments. So the next section under instructional leadership, one of the comments said, data-driven approach to identify gaps to move forward have been implemented. Focus on year-over-year declines in dropout rate and absenteeism has directly led to increases in educational categories. Continues to demonstrate a consistent message and goal-oriented approach to instruction. Under the next category, management and operations, once again, I won't unpack every rating for every individual section there, but I will share comments. And let's see here. Mrs. Perangeli successfully navigated and led the district through a difficult budget season, maintained a focused approach to ensure that student learning was the main focus on budget decisions, demonstrated leadership during collective bargaining meetings and discussions while balancing teacher needs, future budgetary projections, and student learning objectives. And the next area under family and community engagement, a comment was, the superintendent continues open and collaborative communication with staff, students, and families. She uses all resources available to form effective partnerships with stakeholders that support our schools. And then finally, under professional culture, again, lots of ratings here. And one of the comments includes, Mrs. Perangeli conducts herself in a fair and professional manner. Her strong skills at managing challenging situations and differences of opinion are a key component of the culture here in Webster. Continued work at ensuring professional development offerings meet educator needs through feedback and data collection will keep the district on a successful path. On the whole, I would say that this has been once again a very successful year for you, Mrs. Perangeli, as a new superintendent. I know not so new, but still a bit new. But I think that the evaluation speaks for itself in that the committee is pleased with how things are going and where we're headed. And I'll open it up to the committee for any additional comments or anything that you really wanted to be included here that I didn't read out. Please feel free to include that if you'd like.
I'll just, through the chair.
Member Scriglia?
No, I'll just say, you know, being an educator, it's refreshing to be a part of a school committee that supports the district and supports you, where you're such a presence in the schools and in the events. I go to a lot of events myself with my family, and I've always see you there, and that's so refreshing to see your support and just love for the Webster school system. So thank you, and I wish you luck next year and the years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Scriglia.
Through the chair.
Member Adamopoulos?
I'll kind of piggyback on that. I think there's been a lot of comments that I've heard about your presence at after-school events, but also that you're present in each school during the school year, and your face is out there, and the teachers are seeing you. More importantly, the students are seeing you, and they know who you are. And I think that's been a refreshing kind of change. And also that the perception of central office, I think, with a lot of our stakeholders has drastically changed. There's been comments about the fact that it is now a different type of feel dealing with central office. And that improvement, I think, has made things much easier to deal with other stakeholders. So I think those are very big changes that are going to have long-term ramifications moving forward. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Agree. Thank you, Mr. Adamopoulos. Any other comments? Member Millett?
Through the chair. I have to say what I respect and admire is your connection to the whole community. And we've talked about, you definitely have a connection to our school community, but you also do with town management, to police, to fire, to the library, to all our local organizations. And that is so, so important. And I think because you have that, and I'll piggyback on Member Adamopoulos and saying that there definitely is a different feel. There's a different feel in our school community of teamwork, and everybody's in it together. And if there's a problem, everybody's going to help solve it together. And I certainly appreciate that. And I know it's going to be the start of a difficult year, but I have every confidence because of this team building that you have done, that we can get through anything.
Thank you. That is my one big hope. I hope if that's always what I wanted for this school community and for the town. It's not one person can do this work. It's going to take all of us to do the work, everybody. Everybody, from our crossing guards. We all reflect the image of Webster Public School and our Webster community in every role that we do. So we're all equals, we're all in the same playing field, and if we all do our jobs and if we're all equal partners in our work, great things will happen. I know they will. We just have to stay the course. We have to keep working on improving. I believe slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes I'm frustrated that things can't move fast enough, but we can't lose that sense of urgency, but we have to respect the work that we're doing every day. There is a lot of work going on in this district and a lot of hard work. And I don't want our staff to have to work harder. Let's just be smarter and work together, and things will happen. Things will change. One of my favorite things to do here is be a part of this community and see the kids, and that reminds me of why I am here every day. Nothing makes me happier than going into a school and seeing the kids and having those relationships. And I just feel blessed that I can do that. I do love this community, and I hope to be here for many years. And I also appreciate your support, because it can't happen without your support. This work can't happen. I won't always get everything right, but it won't be for a lack of effort or a lack of working hard. So I appreciate your patience, your support, and I hope to continue to grow as a superintendent, to learn and to take in the feedback, because I think that's important. We all have to hear and be aware of what's going on around us so we can grow from that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being a leader that I'm proud to work with.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is we'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session in accordance with Mass General Law 30A, Section 21A, to discuss strategy for negotiations with union personnel, specifically the WEA, Unit B, and the custodians.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes, and we will reconvene an open session simply to sign warrants.
And to vote in the agreements.
Okay, thank you. We will enter back into open session for votes regarding contracts and to sign warrants. All right, welcome back, everyone. We have convened our executive session and we're re-entering public session, with the next item on the agenda being the approval of the Webster Education Association contract for the period of July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028. I will entertain a motion to approve the contract as presented.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. The next item is the approval of the Unit B Administrator's Contract covering the period of July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028. I will entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. And the next item is the approval of the custodial contract for the period of July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes. I would like to thank all of the committee members and all of the association members and the district admin team that participated in the contract negotiations. I really appreciate what a challenging budget cycle this has been for us. And anytime financial situations are tight, it can impact the negotiations. But these teams stuck with it and found common ground. And I think everybody was able to have their voices heard through this process. So thank you to all of you who participated in those processes.
Great.
And the next item on the agenda is a review, transfer, signing of warrants, bills, payroll, and vouchers. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, sorry.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Morelos?
Yes.
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Bailey?
Yes.
Member Scarica?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.